Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to the Speedway Promotions. I'm your host, Big Greg, known as the G-Man. Well, the sign says it all, folks. Through these gates walk the greatest race fans in the country. Thank you, and please come again. Race fans, we're going to dedicate this afternoon's little segment here to the race fan, the generations and traditions of racing. Over the years, racetracks, it seems that the fans have somewhat gotten to be forgotten over the course of time. This is a racetrack with 7 generations of race fans, ladies and gentlemen. 7 generations of racing have walked through these gates. Since 1954, 63 years, this racetrack has been in existence. I'm talking about the Lancaster Super Speedway, Lancaster, South Carolina. Yes, race fans, for over 63 years, people have come to this racetrack to see the legends, the icons of dirt track racing. When I say dirt track legends, icons, we go back as far as drivers like Red Farmer, who won many championships here, Ralph Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt himself, Larry Moore, Buck Simmons. The list goes on, race fans, of people that have been at this racetrack. The race fans come from all over to see the legends, the icons that have raced at this speedway. Today we're going to just take and give you a little brief tour. This is the off season here. It's a cool afternoon here in January in Lancaster, South Carolina. Temperature about 40 degrees. The track is in isolation right now, doing their usual winter and fall maintenance here on the track, getting ready for the 2015 race season, which will begin here March 14th of 2015. So come along, join us, see if we can't bring back a little bit of maybe some memories and some history for you here at the Lancaster Super Speedway, better known as the fastest half-mile dirt track here in the Southeast. This track has, like I say, been in existence since 1954. Some of the greats have garnished this racetrack. Fans 7 generations. And it's you, the race fans, that have made this track what it is today. The race fans from all over the country come Friday nights, Saturday nights, and even on Sundays. This was their one thing that they always used to like to do. Come Friday afternoon, come Saturday morning, people would flock the racetrack. 9 o'clock in the morning, people would be standing at the gates waiting to get in. Sunday afternoon, 6 o'clock after church services, the racetracks would be flooded with the greatest race fans in the world. There's nothing better than a race fan. There's no more dedication. There's no more proud honor that a racetrack could hold but to these race fans. So come along, let's take a little stroll around the Lancaster Speedway here, give you an idea of what goes on in the off season here. Well, once again, race fans, what we're looking at here, the Garland Parker Grandstand. Welcome to the jungle, better known as Turn 4, the infamous Turn 4 here at Lancaster Super Speedway. Yes, Garland Parker was also one of the greats that used to race here back in his days. A true legend, a true icon here at the Lancaster Super Speedway. Numerous wins, numerous championships. His memories live on at this racetrack. His family still. Now, this is, again, as we talking with the generations and traditions of racing, this is the family that stems back over 5 generations here at the Lancaster Super Speedway, Garland Parker. And this infamous Turn number 4, we'll bring the cameras around here shortly to give you an idea, but Turn 4 is where you'll find the friends and foes of many out here on the racetrack. Every Saturday night, the Turn 4 grandstands will be filled to capacity with some of the greats, some of the family members, and some of the actual icons that used to race here will make their way into Turn number 4 grandstands just to cheer on and just to sit back and watch and listen to some of the memories and be a part of what it was like here back in the early days here at the Lancaster Super Speedway. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Speedway Promotions here at the Lancaster Super Speedway. Sitting high up top in Turn number 4 grandstands, kind of give you an idea of the view as we pan around through this racetrack here down the back straightaway. Race fans, as we said, this racetrack here has been known over the course of the years to host some of the true icons and legends as in dirt track racing. Drivers like Lee Petty, Red Farmer, Larry Moore, Buck Simmons. These are guys here that set the pace, set the mark, set the tradition for dirt track racing, and it doesn't get any better. Drivers Larry Moore, 800 career victories. Buck Simmons with close to 500 career victories. Championships from all over the place. Lee Petty, legendary Petty family with son Richard Petty, Adam Petty. The names go on and on here, folks. It doesn't get any better here. Dirt track racing, what we need to remember is dirt track racing is the grassroots and the home for many, many of the legendary drivers across the country. And dirt track racing set the precedent for many of race events across the country. And for some that don't know, one of the actual very first NASCAR race events was actually held here at the Lancaster Super Speedway back in the early days. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Early days of NASCAR racing, what used to be known as the Grand National cars, actually held one of their first race events here at the Lancaster Super Speedway on the infamous high bank fastest half-mile dirt track in the South. And, the history keeps going on and on and on. And what I think a lot of folks don't understand is, the race fans today, race fans are what make the racetrack. Race fans are what make the show. And I think a lot of times racetracks need to, I guess the word I'm looking for is pay more attention to, or really take notice to, the dedication of a race fan. Race fans come from all over. They bring their families, their wives, the kids, the grandfathers, the grandmothers, the grandchildren. As we said, this is a racetrack of 7 generations. 7 generations of racing have walked through these gates here, have been on this racetrack. Of course, yes, over the years, things have changed. The racetrack has, gained a little bit more. They've done some work on the track to increase the banking. We've done some work on this racetrack to do what we could to make it better for the race fan. And again, it's the race fans that, with their input and what they want to see, is what's important to the track owner and what it takes to maintain a race facility. The greats today that garnish this racetrack from before and after, a lot of the generation drivers such as Ricky Taylor, his son Hank Taylor out here now, 4th generation driver. The one they call the Gambler, Brandy Baker, with 4 or 5 generations of racing, going all the way back to Brandy's grandfather. The Soggy Bottom logging business, which has been in Lancaster County, Heath Springs area for many, many years. The Timbo Nation, T1, Timbo Magnum. These are just a few of the names that have been out here for years at this racetrack, and numerous championships, one after another, have made their way across the start-finish line here. Up-and-coming superstars, Josh Langley, the Langley Collision race cars. Those are just a few of the names. Brian Crook, the Johnny Pursley, father and son teams that have been out here. The names go on and on. The list goes on and on, folks, of the drivers that have been out here on this racetrack and taken part in one of the greatest sports we have in the USA today, in the world and the country. And dirt track racing is not only a U.S. sport, but an international sport as well. Places like Australia, New Zealand, they host some of the greatest sprint car races. Here as well at the Lancaster Super Speedway, they've hosted many of the Winged Outlaw cars, the Super Late Model Series, the Lucas cars. Guys that come all the way up from down south, across the Midwest, have hosted some of the best. And on Saturday nights, you come up here, you can guarantee these grandstands will be chock full of some of the greatest race fans screaming for their favorite drivers. Of course, yelling friend and foe, you'll find them all here at the Lancaster Super Speedway. But on the whole, folks, what I'm trying to get across is this is a family track. This is family tradition and generations of racing that stem back since 1954. And I can't really say enough about the crowds that have been in this grandstand. I've had the pleasure of interviewing over the course of the last 5 years. And I've met some pretty amazing people here. Some of the stories I've heard, some of the people that work here, people like Buster Bell. You take Buster, who's been around racing for years and years, raced himself for years, actually had the privilege and honor of racing with the Earnhardts back in the days of the early late model series here at the Lancaster Super Speedway, and also at the Starlight Speedway, which is located over in Monroe, North Carolina. So, like I say, folks, the history of racing stems back from many, many years and many generations of racing. And I think what we tend to overlook is where racing actually started. We talk about NASCAR, we talk about, the great and the wonders that NASCAR has done and I think what we've overlooked is the fact where NASCAR started and where they got their roots from. Most of the drivers that raced in the early NASCAR days, in the Grand National, in the Winston Cup Series, most of all of them got their start on the dirt track itself. And personally, with the commentaries that we've done and the race shows that we've done and drivers that we've talked to, I have to agree. If you're going to start racing, you need to start on dirt track. As the legends will say, and as the drivers of today will tell you, if you can drive a dirt track, you can drive just about anything. Dirt tracks give you an opportunity to feel the race car, feel what the race car is doing, feel what it can do. And again, like I say, dirt track racing, it doesn't really cost a whole lot of money. You can come out and be competitive and not have an astronomical budget as well. You can build you a race car that is competitive. You can build a race car that can run most tracks. Rules are somewhat unilateral across the board for a lot of racetracks. And again, that's something that we try to really portray here in dirt track racing, is the family sport, the family event that is involved here with this racetrack, and all as well as other dirt tracks as well. Many dirt tracks hold the same thing. They hold legends and traditions, family traditions, that is, grandfathers to fathers to sons to daughters. Drivers as young as 13 years old to the age of 70 still race these tracks today. Whether you go to South Carolina, North Carolina, down through Georgia, Tennessee area, tracks like the infamous Rome Speedway, better known as the White Knuckle track, home of the original Have a Tampa series. Greats like Marshall Green, owner of Capital Fabrications now. Marshall Green, 8-time world champion. The things that have taken place, Dixie Speedway, Roman Dixie Speedway, two of the infamous tracks out of Georgia, Toccoa Speedway, Livonia Speedway down in Georgia as well. These two racetracks, legendary tracks in their own rights. Folks, we could go on and on about dirt track racing. We could keep talking about the icons. We could talk about the legends in racing. But I think what we can't do is we can't overlook the greatest people on earth, and that's the race fans that come to these racetracks every Friday night. Where else can you go for $8 on an average to $12 and get family entertainment for 5 to 6 hours of hard racing, door-to-door, mud-slinging action, high-bank action here at the Super Speedway, speeds at excess with the wing cars of excess of 148 miles an hour, super late models that come up here like the Superman himself, Jonathan Davenport, with his partner Dennis Rambo Franklin, and hitting speeds of 130 to 138 miles an hour down the back straightaway here at Lancaster Super Speedway. It doesn't get any better than that. The kids enjoy it, the family entertainment here, the candy drops that take place at the racetracks here. Not only the candy drops, but it's just the meet and greet sessions. I think this is something that has gotten away from with the race fans for many years, is fans come here to see their idols. They want to meet their drivers. They want to meet their favorite driver. And, we start getting into the big leagues and, on the asphalt circuit, and we take away from that. We take away from the race fan. We take away what the race fans have longed for and what they come here for over the course of time. And over the course of time, they want to meet their drivers. They want to shake hands with their drivers. They want to get an autograph. Tracks like Lancaster Super Speedway and most of the other tracks hold a weekly meet and greet at the main gate when you first come into the grandstand, where you can actually walk up, meet the driver, shake hands with the driver, get an autograph, sit in the race cars. I mean, it's all about the race fans. It is all about the race fan. There's no second guess. Race fans come number one. Drivers and race cars fall into that line. Owners and promoters will fall into the back of that line. but it's the race fans that make a show. It's the race fans that keep a track alive. Week after week, hard-earned money. People work 5 days a week, 6 days a week to take what little bit of extra money they have just to come to the dirt track and sit and watch these races. Folks, I mean, you cannot extend enough thanks and enough gratitude to these dedicated, loyal race fans that come here. And over 7 generations that have come to the Lancaster Superspeedway since 1954, I have interviewed people from the age of 3 years old to 98 years old at this racetrack. And believe me, every one of them, from the 3-year-olds to the 98-year-old, can tell you a story about their favorite driver, their favorite time, their favorite moment here at the racetrack. But most of all, this track brings memories, this track brings legends, and this track is the creator of legends and the creator of generation history. So next time you visit a local dirt track, folks, take into consideration 2 things. One is what it takes to maintain a dirt track, what it takes to put a show on, but never forget the loyalty and dedication of a race fan, because that's what's important here today. And, you know, track owners and promoters, they do what they can to help promote, but I still think that they can do a lot more for the race fan. Just, you know, just our thoughts and our opinions here at the Southeastern Promotions, at the Speedway Promotion Office. There is no greater fan than a race fan here at the dirt track. Folks, take into consideration what we have here at this dirt track here. We have family entertainment, half-mile high bank track with fast action, high impact racing every Saturday night. Gates open here, pits at 4:30, grandstands open at 5 o'clock. Entertainment starts with heat laps and warm-ups at 6 o'clock. First heat race will take place at 7:15, features to follow. 5 exciting divisions of racing here every Saturday night, including the Carolina Clash, the Crate Sportsman class, the SECA Southeastern Crate Late Model Association, the Pure Street Renegade class here. We also bring in here on the later dates in the season, you'll find the Southeastern Outlaw Wing Association. And folks, like I say, just Saturday night, take anybody you got. Get your neighbor, get your grandma, get your wife, get the kids, pack the coolers. Come on down to Lancaster Superspeedway here. Walk through the gates and be a part of the history. Be a part of the true dirt track tradition and grassroots of racing right here every Saturday night. Folks, with that, listen, y'all have a great day and enjoy. We'll be back at another date here with another update and presentation. Right now, like I say, this is the off-season, January here, with some track maintenance going on in the infield. So we're going to stay up here in the grandstand, and hopefully in another couple of weeks we'll be able to come back here with another presentation. And y'all remember, we'll be glad to sell you a ticket for the whole seat, but I guarantee once the racing starts, all you're going to need is the extreme edge of that seat here at the Lancaster Superspeedway. Take care, everybody. God bless. This is your host, Big G, the G-Man. We'll catch you later at another day. Take care, everybody, and God bless.